Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you for joining me for this all levels feel good flow. So today we are going to be waking up the body, stretching, strengthening, and looking at a kind of all-round practice for kind of feeling good, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever that is for you today. So we'll come down to a comfortable seated position to get started, and as always, taking any blocks or props to support your body. We're going to bring our hand to the heart and the other hand to the belly area, and begin to soften your gaze or close the eyes. And see how it feels to relax the face. Imagine any tension melting away from the face and the head. Soften the shoulders, shoulder blades running down your back. Notice which parts of your body are connected to the ground. Which parts of your body where you can feel your hands connected to your chest, your belly area. Maybe even feeling where the body's moving as you breathe. So expanding and contracting naturally with your breath. Seeing what the quality of your breath feels like today. Does it feel slow or fast or somewhere in between? Are there restrictions? Is there resistance there? Not to label anything as good or bad or right or wrong, just simply to observe, to be in your body, to inhabit the body as fully as you can, experiencing everything. Feeling alive. Beginning to open the eyes back up now if you had them closed, and we'll release the hands. And inhale, reach the fingertips up, lift the ribs away from the hips. As you exhale, cactus the arms, opening across the chest. Imagine the shoulder blades drawing in towards each other. Bring the hands into heart center. Inhale again here, and as you exhale, twist to the right. Keep breathing. On the inhale, come back through the middle and exhale over to the left. And come back to center. Walk the hands out in front, coming into a fold. Folding forwards, could be really subtle, so you could be working up here, you could be coming lower down. Take what feels right in your body. And as you inhale, imagine creating space, and as you exhale, softening, melting into your fold. Remembering it's early on in the practice, so giving your body time to open up, to connect, release tension. One more breath here in your fold, wherever you are. And then inhale, walk the hands back in. And we'll go again, but this time we're going to switch the cross of the legs if you had the legs crossed. If they weren't, then no worries. So we're just evening that out. So inhale, reach the fingertips up, lifting from the waist, and exhale, cactus. Draw the hands into heart center. Inhale here, find that space again. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, walk the hands forwards. Find your fold on this side. Notice if it feels any different with the cross of the legs. It may well do. So it's a different stretch. You might be able to feel in the hip, the lower back, but notice what's alive for you. We all feel things differently. Our bodies are all different. Imagine breathing into the back of the body and the sides. Inhale, start to walk the hands back in. And we'll make our way over now into tabletop position. So find your all fours position on your mat. Inhale, shine the heart forwards, lift the tailbone. And then as you exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone under. So you start to float between your cat and cow. Inhale, shining the heart forwards. And exhale, rounding, pressing the ground away with your hands. So seeing if you can notice the spine, the pelvis. So when we lift the tailbone, what this does is this tilts our pelvis forwards, sense of the belly dropping down. And then when we tuck the tailbone in, we're tilting the pelvis kind of up and in towards the body. So just noticing how these movements feel in your body. Often we have kind of different pelvic tilts naturally. So tilting the pelvis one way might feel a little bit more natural than the other. It's just observing this. Nothing's right or wrong. So moving through, noticing how the spine feels as you round. Then as you open, taking your last cow and cat movement with your breath. Inhale, opening across the chest. And exhale, rounding. And then inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Lovely. See how it feels to shift the hips here from side to side. And then next time you bring the hips over to the right, see if you can draw that right shoulder towards the right hip. Find a stretch into the left side body. Maybe you even look over the right shoulder. Take it to the other side. Draw the left shoulder towards the left hip. Find that opening into the right side body. Look over your left shoulder. Come back to center and hips staying stacked above the knees. Exhale, walk your hands out in front. Melt the chest and melt the chest down towards the mat for Anamahasana puppy pose. Lost my words nearly there. Breathing here. Options come onto the forearms for a more supported position here. So tuning in. What does your body need today? What do you need in this practice today? That won't be taking every option that I offer. So really trusting that these offerings, these options are exactly that. They're not directions, they're not things that you have to do. Let your body flow without force. Your next inhale, walk the hands back in. And we'll reach this right leg now out to the right side, seeing if you can hover it away from the ground and place it back down. And then walk the hands up to find a high kneeling position. Right hand rests on the right thigh. Inhale, sweep the left fingertips up. Exhale, stretch over to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Walk the hands back down. Walk them back out. Lift or hover that right foot away from the ground if you can, and bring it back in. Lovely. Other side, left leg floats out. Maybe it hovers. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does not want to hover today, and that's okay. Walk the hands in so you're in high kneeling. Left hand rests on the left thigh, palm facing up. Inhale, right fingertips reach up. As you exhale, stretch over to the left. Maybe that left hand slides down the left leg. Breathing into the right side body. And coming back up with control, really intentional movements. Walk the hands back out. Lifting, hovering, maybe hovering that left foot. Bring it back in. Exhale, sit the hips down towards the heels. Take a child's pose. Let the forehead and the chest melt down to the ground. Close the eyes or soften your gaze. Imagine breathing into the back of the body and the sides. Noticing if you can feel the back of the body moving, maybe lifting on the inhale and drawing back in on the exhale. So this can be really subtle. You can imagine drawing the energy in that you want to receive and bring into this practice. What energy is going to nourish you and help you to feel good today. And then on the exhale, creating space for that energy. So we do this by breathing out and letting go of anything that's no longer needed, that's taking up space. Releasing that into the ground. You can come back to child's pose at any time in the practice, but if you're ready to, we're going to open the eyes back up. Inhale, lift the hips away from the heels so we're back in all fours, and then tuck the toes under and exhale the hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Start to take a pedal out, maybe through the legs, any little movements that feel natural, that feel good in your downward dog. So maybe feeling into the backs of the legs a little bit here, bringing some awareness back into your breath. And on your next inhale, we're going to sweep this right leg up. So finding a 3-leg dog, could be literally hovering that right leg away from the ground. You could be opening the hips here if that feels good to make it into what you need it to be. And then as you inhale, look between your hands. You're going to step this right foot to the outside of the hands, the outside of that right hand. And then with this back leg, option to drop the knees straight down, or you can keep it lifted here for a moment and shine the heart forward, so we're in lizard. Breathing here, maybe taking a little bit of gentle movement, so you could rock back and forth or side to side. Then if you had the knee lifted, we're all going to drop the knee now. Again, taking any little movements here that feel good. Option to bring your right forearm or the right hand to the right thigh or knee and tilt the heart up towards the ceiling. Follow with the gaze, finding a little bit of a twist here. Just noticing how that feels. If it feels good to come onto the outside edge of your right foot, then you can. Just an option. And really planting all 4 corners of that right foot, meeting the ground again now. Release your right hand back down. And then walk your right foot so now that it's coming in between the hands, so we're in a low lunge. Inhale, reach your fingertips up, lift up and out from the waist. Option to have the hands on blocks here for support. Really press down through the heel of your right foot. Breathing here. And then exhale, float the hands down, shift the hips back, find your Ardha Hanumanasana, your half split, so flexing the right foot. Right leg doesn't have to be lengthened or straight, it can have a bend in it. Just find a place where you can draw back with the right hip. Imagine shining your heart forwards, maybe gently pressing the right heel into the ground. And float back into your front leg. This time tuck the back toes under, power up through the back leg and reach the fingertips up. Find a high lunge, right side. Begin to draw your left heel down to the mat, open out to warrior 2. Flip the right palm up to face the ceiling. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up, find reverse warrior. Imagine shooting energy through the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Start to release from your reverse warrior, window mill. I don't know if that's the right word. Bring your hands down to the mat, step the foot back to plank, flow through your version of vinyasa. So you could inhale into a cobra or an upward facing dog, and then exhale back to your downward facing dog. Beautiful, well done. To take it. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, sweep the left leg up, find your version of three-leg dog. You can keep the hip closed or you can open. Inhale, look between the hands and step this left foot to the outside of the left hand. So it's coming to the outside, and then see if you can keep that back knee lifted. If not, dropping it down to the mat. Shine the heart forwards. So imagine that heart shining forwards here, and your lizard taking any little movement. So maybe there's a gentle rock or a sway. Maybe you're in stillness. Well done. And dropping the back knee down, you can release the back toes if that feels good too. Again, taking any little movements here, noticing if that feels much different to the leg being lifted. Just observing, really being in that place of awareness. Take the left hand to the left knee or thigh, maybe pivoting, shining the heart up towards the ceiling, taking a little twist here, looking up in that direction, breathing here. Come onto the outside edge of that left foot if that feels good for you. Won't feel good for everyone. Well done, and releasing from that, bring the left hand down. You could always have the hands on blocks here to create more space. Walk your left foot in between the hands or your blocks. And then inhale, sweep the fingertips up so you're in your low lunge. Lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. Float the hands down to the blocks or the mat, shift the hips back. Find your Ardha Hanumanasana. So left hips drawing back, keeping space across the chest, flexing the left foot. Let there be softness in that left leg if there needs to be. Doesn't need to be completely straight. Imagine breathing into the back of your left leg. Nice deep breaths. Breathing as fully as you can without forcing. Lovely, coming forward, so bringing the weight back into your front leg and lift your back knee to extend your back leg. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up, find your lunge, your high lunge. So imagine lifting up and out from the pelvis. Imagine with your fingertips that you're reaching up, trying to kind of reach for something that's just out of your reach. So finding that lift. And draw your back heel down to the mat and open out to your warrior two. Flip the left palm up to face the ceiling. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up. Find your reverse warrior. Breathing here. Imagine shooting energy through the left fingertips upwards. And start to float the hands down to your mat. Take a big step back to plank. Flow through your vinyasa, inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra, and then exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to breathe. Taking a child's pose if you're feeling for it. So on your next inhale, we're going to sweep this right foot through between the hands. And then either keeping the hands on the ground or taking them to blocks, lift your back leg, so finding a standing split position. So I've got the hip closed here for standing split. But option, if you want to open into the hips, you can start to reach that left foot higher. Maybe that right hand wraps around the back of the right leg and you draw the forehead towards the shin. If that is not where you need to be today, then no worries. Lovely. Start to inhale, lift the chest. And again, use your hands on blocks for support here. I'm going to see if you can keep lifting the chest, so we're coming up to standing. Bringing this left leg through and hook. See if you can soften a bit into your right leg and hook your left ankle on the right thigh and let that left knee open out to the side. So we're in this kind of pigeon position with the legs. Hands come into heart, heart center. So we're sitting the hips down, but trying to lift the chest. Breathing here, well done. If you need to use a wall here, you absolutely can. Modify where needed. Amazing. So as we start to release, adding in any little steps, seeing if you can float that left leg all the way back. Bring your hands down to the mat, step it back to plank. It either comes straight back to downward facing dog, or if you're feeling for another vinyasa, you're going to take that. So inhaling through to cobra, upward dog, and exhaling back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose here, and breathe it out through the mouth. Sighing it out. So when we do these kind of big sigh breaths, these are actually really good for releasing stress, good for your nervous system, good for improving your mood. So actually, although if you're not used to them, it might feel a bit strange, there are a lot of benefits to just releasing the breath. So on your inhale, this time we're going to sweep the left foot through between the hands and then walk the hands out so you've got a little bit of space to start with, or take them to blocks and lift your back leg. So we're in a standing split. So this is your kind of closed hip standing split. Option to open the hips, wrap the left arm around the left leg, maybe the forehead draws in towards the shin, maybe it doesn't. Breathing, being wherever you are. Well done. Start to lower the leg as you lift the chest. Breathing into any little wobbles. We're going to float the right leg through and hook your right ankle on your left thigh. So you'll bend into that left leg a little bit first. Hook the right ankle, and this right knee is opening out to the side. Hands come into heart center. So really juicy stretch there into this whole area surrounding the hip space. So breathing here, use the wall if you need to. See how it feels when you really flex that right foot, or when you relax it. And again, notice any differences in sensations here. See what feels right in your body. And then start to come out of that kind of standing pigeon position. See if you can float your right leg back, big step back. Hands come down to the mat. This time we'll exhale and everybody meet back in a downward facing dog. From here, drop your knees down to your mat. And we'll sit the hips back towards the heels, come back to a child's pose. Just closing the eyes or softening the gaze, melting into your mat. And from here, walk your fingertips, so staying as low as feels comfortable in your child's pose. Walk your fingertips over to the right. Breathe down into the left side body. Walk the hands through center, take them over to the other side, so over to the left. Breathe into the right side of the body. You might feel this stretching into the lats, into other areas. Just observing, notice whatever you notice. walk the hands back through center. And start to walk them in, opening the eyes if you had them closed. So we're coming up into a kneeling position. It's coming into hero pose. We're going to bring the sitting bones down towards the mat or to blocks. And what we're doing is letting the calves roll out and the heels roll out to the side as we sit the sitting bones down, inner thighs drawing in together. So being really mindful of the knees here. So if you need to be on blocks underneath to support, then you absolutely can. So coming down here, and you can either rest the hands on the thighs and take a few breaths here, or if it's in your practice, you could walk the hands out behind and bring yourself down to lying here. But again, please don't force anything. Really connect to where you need to go today with this practice. Where do you need to go within yourself, within your body? And what's going to help you to feel good? And on different days, we need different things in order to come to that place of balance. It's not going to be the same every single day. It might not always make logical sense. Really listening to what the body's communicating to you. Our body is full of wisdom, full of knowledge. One more breath here. If you were in the lying position, you're going to walk your way back up. Lift the hips, release from the pose and bring the legs around and out in front. Final Paschimottanasana to finish. So we'll inhale, reach the crown of the head to the ceiling, and as you exhale, fold forwards. Just thinking about leading with the chest bone, keeping the spine long. Maybe creating some space on the inhale and melting into the fold on the exhale. Keep turning your gaze inwards, coming into your inner space, observing it, protecting it. Think of yourself as that ever-alert guardian of your inner space. You are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are the one observing these things. You are, in a way, the awareness. On your next inhale, start to lift the chest, release from the fold. Bring yourself back to your seated position or on your mat. Bring one hand back to the heart and one hand to the belly. Just coming back full circle to where we started the practice. How do you feel? Come back to where your hands are placed on your body, to that connection. Softening the face and the jaw and the shoulders. Imagining that there's this sense of support being held by the ground underneath you. And we'll slowly start to come back into your space now. You can begin to open the eyes when you're ready to. Just coming back into the room. Thank you so much for joining me for this All Levels Feel Good flow. I really hope that it has helped you to feel good today. Please do let me know. Do comment and feedback to me. It's completely free to subscribe to this channel. So yeah, please do that, and tell your friends, tell your family if you're enjoying these flows and they're helping. There's links below to the other things that I offer, but so grateful for all of those of you flowing on here. Do check out as well my Instagram, my TikTok. Do tag me if you're flowing with me. And yeah, thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you again really soon. Bye bye.